Okay, good morning. This is Bob Connors, Chair of the Newbury Municipal Building Committee. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Martha Taylor,
Yes.
John Keller.
Yes.
Okay, and Eric and Dana are not on the call. Good morning. This open meeting of the Newbury Municipal Building Committee is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020. Extended until March 31st, 2023, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth, due to the outbreak of COVID-19. In order to mitigate the transmission of COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of open meeting law to have all meetings in publicly accessible physical locations. Further, all members of the public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with the agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. Please note the meeting is being recorded and the attendees are participating by video conference. All right, there's going to be a time I'll probably miss saying that.
You'll be able to repeat it like
as I'm driving over to the town hall. It is interesting. Serving with Peter Pecos on the Conservation Commission. We've had the age-old debate of meeting in public and meeting remote. And Peter brings up a very good point that meeting remote where that we can post, share a screen, and everyone participating gets to see exactly what the members are looking at, rather than we're standing around a table looking at a plan is being presented.
Right.
And I think there's great value to that, beyond the convenience of not having to drive anywhere. But I think participation, I think it expedites meetings.
I had coffee with a architect a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about that. And he said, "Here's the problem with Zoom. 7 o'clock, I have a meeting. My last one ends at 7 o'clock at night. There's almost no time in between sometimes." And Eric goes through the same thing, I think. Just meeting on top of meeting on top of meeting on top of meeting. Sometimes driving gives you a break to have a breath, but I think that's not the norm. It's just sometimes it's a little overbearing. But I agree with you. I think it's great. We save a lot of time and money for clients and our own time. I mean, I'm grateful I get paid to drive, but not everybody gets paid to drive to the next place. So, I like a 15, 20-minute break or a half-hour break if I get 2 or 3 in a row, but sure does save a lot of time.
Yeah, you know what it's an efficiency that, I mean, I can't tell you how many times you're driving 2 hours for a 20-minute meeting.
Yeah.
All right, so team, why don't we do this? So you have your electronic copies of that meeting packet. I mean, it's pretty basic. There's really the tab 1's the executive summary. Tab 2 is our current schedule. Tab 3, that is the summary on showing permitting, the do and don'ts of what we need for, let me just see here. At this time of morning, I'm swimming in paperwork, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah, so tab 3 is your local approvals and permitting. I know, Martha, you had sent me some additional information on that. Was that missed by GG&D on there? Because it has, just looking at the sewer system, drainage system, natural gas, soil conditions, wetlands, natural hazard.
I don't know, actually didn't go back to see what they did, but Peter Burnett is checking into it.
Okay. Yeah, okay, you know what? It does say that it's the building is located in the Upper Green Business Zone District. parcel is located within the Water Supply Protection District. And according to the Newbury zoning map, the following dimensions are required in that area. And as I recall, it does mention it's in the historic district, so.
Right.
Okay, well, then if we turn to tab 4, it's our current schedule of probable cost. Tab 5 is basically site plan, proposed building location. And I thought it was important to include some information. The question always is, how do we wind up on Morgan Ave, the corner of Morgan and High Road? And it's interesting. I guess I go back too far on this project. I go back to 2012. Martha, you and I were on the original site selection committee.
Indeed.
And we had looked at a number of different sites back in 2012. And as we whittled our way down, it came down to the 3 locations that had sewer and water, which was Governor's, Hanover, and Morgan Ave, corner Morgan and High Road. You know, as our minutes reflect, we've eliminated the other 2 simply by Governor's was not interested in the town hall, although they were interested in the police station. And Hanover Street was reviewed for its viability for a potential COA site. And the result from our previous conservation aide, Bill Holt and Patrick Seacamp, that there was no sufficient area large enough to support the requirements of a COA. And certainly town hall would be bigger. Now it's easy to eliminate stuff in a quick way like that, just where it won't fit, because the next step is doing site investigation, 21E test, what's permits required. And that's one of the benefits that we have with High Road, the current site. But so I included the conservation agent update to the town administrator on wetland consultant Peter Seacamp's analysis that location wouldn't support the building or infrastructure for a council on aging. And we certainly know that town hall will be larger in size.
Yes.
The other thing is that because of all the different potential projects for High Road and Morgan Ave, the town ordered a 21E site assessment, and that came back clean. And for 25 High Road, which those are things that tens of thousands of dollars that we've been able to reuse. And then finally, the old site plan that was going back, and it actually shows when we were considering a triplex campus. Now, the interesting, if we look back, John, in over time, and we're looking at what the price tag was for a that whole public safety complex.
Right.
It'd be done by now, and it'd be looking pretty attractive. But as we are supposed to do, we follow the will of the town, and this is the direction they're taking us. All right, if you turn to tab 6, it's just kind of the draft schematic layout that we have at this point. We have elevations of proposed looks, and we have the first, second, and attic area basic floor laid out. On tab 7, it is our meeting minutes from September through the end of January. And John, I just want to say, reviewing the minutes while putting this package together, the level of detail that you've put into these is just, it's very informative. I think the big thing is you go back and you look at, in September, questions raised about different sites that we answered in October, and questions that were asked in October by the public was answered in November. Now, certainly we run into the issue where people want to keep asking the same questions over and over.
Or publish it.
Yeah, and in all honesty, the answer doesn't change. So
Right.
I think that's where we're at. In tab 8, I had put this together, John, before we had reviewed and approved the February 6th meeting. So I just put together what the meeting packet was,
Makes sense.
which gives us some idea what we're doing. So, but that's about it, team. So what I'm asking you to do today is, I'm scheduled to make a presentation tonight before the select board, giving them an update of where the committee is at. And what I'd ask for is a motion to authorize the chair to present this draft report as written and to speak on behalf of the committee regarding the municipal building committee report and where we're basically at this point in time.
So moved.
Okay, and I'll second that. Any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote. All those in favor? Jen Keller,
Aye.
Martha Taylor,
I,
and Bob Connors votes aye. All right, team. That gives me a level of comfort that I can speak tonight, and obviously I make sure if I have personal comments outside of where we are as a committee, I will so identify. But that is basically it, team.
Well, thank you for putting all this together. I know it took some time to organize it, and you do a great job.
Well, you know what? It's important work. The town of Newbury is so fortunate to have a committee with this level of expertise, and it's quite amazing. Very few towns have this, and I give you an example, not to get too far off track. Town of Wellesley has a permanent building committee, and what they do in projects like this, they wouldn't do it on let's say a high school or a school. Their committee is qualified as the OPM for the project, and they just hire a full-time clerk of the works.
Yep.
That becomes a temporary employee for 12 or 18 months.
Yep.
And it's food for thought, and it certainly is a cost savings. I mean, it's probably a 50% reduction, and as we all know, with the right clerk, 99% of the heavy lifting gets done at that level. But so that's about it. John, any comments or points you'd like me to make tonight to the select board?
No, I think you've covered it well in what you presented, and good point about the meeting minutes that we cover what needs to be said. And no, I'm all set. Thank you for being available to do that.
Okay. Well, thank you, John. Martha, what are your comments? Any suggestions on bullet points that you think would be beneficial to the select board or the community tonight?
no, I think you've got it. I think you've got it covered.
Okay. All right. Well, team, thank you very much for this quick meeting. I don't know if we have a meeting scheduled for Thursday. I don't know if we're going to be, if Context is going to be ready for an update on that. I plan on talking to either Jeff Shaw later today or tomorrow. So there is a chance that our Thursday meeting may be canceled, but I'll know better.
Verify that. Okay.
Well, again, you know what it was like, unless we have new drawings that meet the parameters that we've established, and we're ready to sign off and release it for a SD estimate, I think we just push it off if we're not at that point. But I'll make sure I can send you all an email, let you know where we're at on that. But
Just while we're here, how are we doing on Project Dog, Martha? Is that pretty well getting near the post?
I had a few questions which I sent out on Friday, and many of them have been answered. So I think we're getting close.
Oh, close. That'd be great. Okay. All right. I'm all set. Thank you.
okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, all those in favor say aye. Martha,
Aye.
John, Bob.
Yes. Bye.
Yes, Band of Indians. Aye. Oh, pirates. We're pirates.
Pirates. There you go.
All right. Thanks, guys.